Hey guys, welcome back to Thread and Glue. We're continuing our Labrynth quilt, and the next part that we need to do, it's a couple of pretty easy parts that need to get done. We have all of our beautiful squares that we made, and they're all in their separate stacks. So what you need to do now is to take each one of our squares and look between the two lines that you made. You're going to line your ruler up, or take your scissors, either way, and you're going to cut right down the middle. And that is the very next step. Once you get that done, we're on our way, guys. All right. I'm going to do another one just so you can see. I'll do it with scissors. You want to line up between there. Don't cut into your threads on the sides where you sewed it. You just cut down the middle. Take your time. You're not in any hurry. This shouldn't be a rushed project. It should be an enjoyed project. So, still cutting. Once you cut all the way across, do that to all of them. But keep them in their separate stacks, because you're going to need to know their separate placement in the next step after today. So there's those. Now what you're going to do is you're going to remove your cutting stuff and take each one of your blocks that you've made. You're going to press to what is the dark side. There's a difference between ironing and pressing. To press means you just push down and let it press. To iron means you rub across it like this. So on these, you do not want to iron, you want to press, because they're half square triangles. And we'll talk about that some more here in just a minute. I like to lay my light color down, because you want to press to the darkest fabric. So if you lay that light one down, you can lay this over just like this. Use your fingers to kind of press it out gently, and then you're going to press. You don't want to iron because it will actually distort the shape of the triangle of block. So that was one. Let's do one more together. Here. Okay, we want to press to the dark side, so we're laying our light side down, gently holding it open, and pushing with our finger. It's called finger pressing when you push the seam down like that. And then we're going to take our iron and press. If you need to iron another section of it, if you need to press another section, pick it up and move it, and don't slide it. Okay, half square triangles are on what they call the bias. There are 3 different directions of fabric when you're talking about quilting. There is straight grain, cross grain, and bias. So let me get a piece of paper here and show you what each one means. Okay, the way that fabric is made, it's woven. So the straight grain is the direction that your threads are actually going in the fabric. That's why you are able to rip on one end, like this here. You can rip from here down that way, and it will rip a straight line. If you rip from this direction across the grain, which is what that is, you want to cross it, then it's not going to be a straight cut. It's not going to be a straight rip. The other thing is called the bias. What the bias is when you go across it slanted, across all the fibers slanted. By doing that, it weakens your fabric. So that's what our half square triangles are. They're on the bias. And so that's why you only press, you don't iron, because you don't want to move them out of shape. When they're this way, they're easier. Let me get a piece of fabric here to show you. Let me see. I can pull this way and it's not pulling, it's not stretching, right? Guess what? That is the grain, the straight grain of the fabric. If I turn it this way, it will stretch and pull. That's the cross grain. Then if I go from corner to corner, look how much pull it has. It's a lot of pull. And what happens is that pull goes out, but it doesn't always go back in the way it's supposed to. So you're going to get a different shape. It's going to move out of place. So just remember, if you can pull it like they can't pull it, no bouncing into it at all, then that's straight grain. And across the grain gives you a stretch. From bias is from corner to corner edges, and it's a lot of stretch, right? Okay, so once you guys get all of yours pressed, then there's one more step for you. You're going to take your cutter and you're going to lay that on your mat or use your scissors. And see these little points? These are called dog ears. That's what they call them, or dog ears, because they lap out. You want to take your cutter and you want to cut that off. Just cut it off. You can use your ruler if you need to with this, but it's really not that difficult. Just trim that off, and those will be ready for our next step. Be sure you keep them in their stacks though, because their stacks are important. That's going to be really important in our next step. So you guys, I hope you have been enjoying this series. I am enjoying making this quilt, and I look forward to seeing you guys' progress. If you would, post it on Thread and Glue Designs on Facebook so that I can see them, or Instagram, and tag me so I can see it there. I look forward to seeing you guys again soon, and we'll get going on this project. Thanks.